Our honorable members present, Caritas Uganda, MDAs here present, Monsignor Dr. Francis Damira, partners, the media, invited participants, ladies and gentlemen, I'm actually happy to be with us this morning. I'm also happy to have Ministry of Health present, to have the academia here with us, but more especially, I'm happy that we have the members of parliament. You know, about a few weeks ago, Father was telling us here how we interacted. Before I make a presentation, let me share this with you. We were in Gulu, but we were having a meeting with all extension workers in the northern region. And then I think we had a chat as I was talking to the extension workers. We mentioned the issues of food safety and how we are responsible for all that. I didn't know that along the way, Father took this bit very seriously. So I took it up and I got an invitation for this meeting today. Please allow me, join me to put hands together and let us thank Father so much. You know, there is this passion in persons that there are few people who bring out. And that is what we have in Father, really. If we had more people with that kind of passion, I think today we will not be sitting here to discuss issues of food safety, which is a concern for all of us. We would be just discussing different matters. And as if this is not enough, he has actually challenged each and every one of us sitting here that we need to have a campaign that should continue. And why did we have to wait until this minute anyway to be called to talk about food safety, which touches on each and every one of us who is sitting here? Did we have to wait? Did we have to be told that we needed to handle food safely so that our health is good? Did anybody have to come and tell us that we have to be clean to ensure that the food we eat is good for our health? No. That means we are having a breakdown of a system somewhere. That means there's a breakdown of a system somewhere. And it is not Ministry of Agriculture. It is not even Ministry of Health. It is not even any ministry. You are going to tell me it is the government. But it is not even the government. No. You are going to give me the answer. It is not the government. It is not any ministry, not any MDA. It is not Father even, not Caritas. But it had to take the strength, the finances, and everything of Caritas to sit us here today and talk about food safety. Food safety that matters to our own lives as individuals as we are sitting here. Please allow me to make a presentation to talk about this they call food safety that matters to us. Let's move to the next one. That's how my presentation will move. Next. I've put in that bit of what is safety. And we say this is a state of being safe. It is freedom from occurrences or the risk of injury, danger, or loss, or the quality of averting or not causing injury, danger, or loss. You know, I'm looking at this in terms of physical injury. This is physical. That is the only thing we know as being safe. We are safe when you think you have not gotten an accident, you have not fallen, you have not hurt yourself. But here we are looking at the safety of food, that which we eat and put inside our body. Food safety, what is it? We eat every day, every morning, every afternoon. 3 times, 4 times a day we are busy eating. Right now we are going to be eating. Do we know where that food is coming from? How many of us know where that food is coming from? Do we know how that food has been prepared? Do we know where that food was kept? Do we even know how it was prepared? And how sure are we that that food we are going to eat now and the food we are going to eat lunchtime and the food we'll eat tomorrow and the other day is safe and is good for our health? That is the reason we are sitting here today. That is why we are sitting here today. So it looks at how we produce the food, how we handle, we process, where we keep it, the process of storing this food. It is along the value chain from the farm down there up to the table, the food we are eating now. You know, everyone takes responsibility of the food safety that we are talking of today. And each and everyone here is responsible. Actually, I understand the farmers are here too. The farmers are here, the legislators are here, the policy makers, and everybody along the food chain. We are here, present, and we are responsible for this thing they call food safety, which we don't want to provide for our people. It's a sad moment, I'm telling you. It is really sad. We cannot even sit here and feel happy that we are discussing food safety. It is not something that we should have sat in to discuss. We are forcing ourselves to talk about the good thing that we need in our system. And if we ask ourselves, when did this thing actually start, we cannot even answer. Earlier on, before we started, Father told, no, somebody read from the Bible that God made everything and it looked good. So God did not make anything bad, did he? So why did we have to turn everything and make it otherwise? It is sad. We should all sit and cry. Maybe the next demonstration should be for us to go out on the street and cry for our failure to provide for the people we are looking after. Every one of us should go out and cry. We cry on the street, and when they ask us, why are you crying? We'll tell them we are crying because we have failed this country. We have failed the people of this country. We have, every single one of us. Every single one of us. So here we are looking at the contamination that we put in the food. The poison that we put in the food. Nobody does it. We do that every single moment of our lives. And why do we have to do all this? Why? Look at what is happening. We are not saying, sorry, please, move there. Next. Look at what is happening here. I'm not saying it is bad to spray. It is very good to spray. It is good to spray. But when do we spray? And when do we eat after spraying? Every day we go to our markets and we find these tomatoes all white, and somebody will go and say, oh, I want the ones which are white because it will stay long in my house. Who told you? Do you know what is the white things inside this tomato? And then you carry it home and you are very happy to cook and give it to your children. You are a murderer. And it is a slow pace of murdering. We are doing that every single day. So we cannot afford even to point a finger at another person. Let's move to the next one. Look at all this. In our marketplaces, on the streets, every single moment. When you move there and we find those guys making Rolex. I want Rolex. Eh? You want Rolex, what are they wrapping it on? Eh? Every day they're busy frying all these things by the roadside. Do you know what they're using? The kind of oil that has been on? Eh? We don't know. Look, the matoke we eat every day, you carry the plastic kavera and you wrap with it. Who told you you are supposed to use the plastic to wrap the kavera for cooking food? Our parents, our great parents used the banana leaves. They had a reason for doing that. So where did we get that intelligence? To say the plastic should be used now to wrap the food that we eat. What went wrong where? I recall when I was a little girl growing up, Whenever you'd go to the market to buy, even sugar, they will put it in the paper. You buy meat, they'll put in the paper bags. What happened? Where did the paper bags go? Maybe we go back to wrapping those things in the leaves and the banana leaves to make us safe. And maybe if we had improved the banana leaves to another level, would be something. But what are we doing to ourselves? We are murdering ourselves beautifully, slowly, and carefully. We are doing that. Officially, we are doing that. Many times they've told us to put away the kavera. We have failed ourselves, and our members of parliament are here. You people have failed us. We have failed ourselves. We have failed to implement the policies accordingly. And yet when you cross to the next country, people are very strict, and nobody wants to carry plastic kavera there. Why do we do it? Why? Is our lives not the same with the others? Why? Why? Can we ask ourselves many times? Do we have an answer? Let's move to the next one and we see. Beautiful, look at that. We compete with the flies when we go to buy meat. We compete every single moment. The flies eat one side, we eat the others, and then we think it is just okay. And when we try to put systems in place, we cannot even let them work. We have failed our people. We have, every single moment. We dumped our things there. Look, in the kitchens, we have mothers here and girls, and boys who do the washing. You cook and dump your things there. That is where we get all those biological hazards coming on board. And we do not know that. We do it every day, every moment. We did it yesterday. We are going to do it again today. Look at that. Next, please. As mothers, how many times have we used those things for cleaning our saucepans? The steel wires. And did we ever know it would leave anything in those saucepans? And do we know how dangerous this wire is that we are going to eat? We do it every time, every single moment we do that. Unknowingly and probably knowingly. And we do it. Let's continue, sir. So why? We are asking ourselves, why is food safety important? Do we think even it is important? Do we? Let's ask ourselves, do we think food safety is important? We have seen all this. And we are going to listen to a lot more. And we have had many more. We are all eating right now, isn't it? Our health. Once you are sick, you know the cost of treatment. The cost of treatment is so high in this country. And yet every time we say food is our first medicine. But this time food is turned round. It is no longer medicine. It has become poison in our bodies. You see? So where is the first medicine? Health was supposed to only come where food has now not managed to handle. But in this case, I don't know, we're inviting them to come in by force. We don't want health to disturb us. Let us handle agriculture, food, eat healthy, and you are good to go. But once you fall sick, every single saving is gone. It is gone on treatment. And it is worse if they tell you are supposed to go for an operation. You wait and see. Operating what? What we caused ourselves? Tell me that a sick person is productive. You can't be productive. And this country is full of young people. Majority of our population are very young. They are supposed to be very productive labor force. But now we are poisoning every single soul. How do we expect the young person who is sick to be productive? What will they give us? So what are we doing for this country? What are we doing for the country? There will be no development. Because we are handling people who are weak, sick, and cannot produce anything. Let us wake up. Let us wake up, and let us remember from this moment on that food safety is one of our most important part of running our homes, of running our restaurants, in the institutions where we are. There are so many foods along the street, and we go there every evening and we want to buy that. Let us wake up and remember that all those other areas make a difference in our lives. So where is our problem? I've already mentioned a lot of this. Where is the problem of food safety? I told you it was from the farm up to the table. It is all through the value chain. All through the value chain. And sometimes we do it knowingly or unknowingly. This time we are entering the harvest season. The maize, the soybeans, and the rest, they are being harvested now. And many times, when we do harvesting of our maize and the others, we first heap them in the farm. We leave them even there. Rain will beat them. Some of them get spoiled. But because we don't want to lose, we carry all of them with the spoilage pads. The aflatoxin develops, and we think we can, when you mill those things, we eat it, there's no problem. We also think when we mill and give it to our animals, there's no problem. And we forget that once our foods get contaminated with aflatoxin, even that bird you're feeding it, those cows you're giving it, it will turn back and come back to the human. It never dies. No. It comes back to our lives. So you can see everything we do that is not right comes back to us. If we do good things, good comes to us. If we do the bad things, all those bad things will come back to us. As we store our foods, many times you enter the storage places, nobody bothers to see that maybe I've put this on top of something, water doesn't come in. But when it rains, the thing is, water enters inside, food's damaged, and we don't care about those damages, by the way. We don't. We don't want to throw away anything that is bad. He said if we mix it inside, it will be okay. Just travel down here, Nowino, and see where they process ginat. Once you go to that area, you will stop eating it for the rest of your life. But the process goes on. Under our, we monitor, we watch them every single day, and we've not done anything about it. There are so many things that have gone astray, and we have not done anything about it. And we ask ourselves, what has gone wrong where? What is wrong with us? You cannot even say what is wrong with you. No, it is what is wrong with us, all of us. Because we do it knowingly. You know this is bad, you have not even thrown it away. Say, no, if I mix it with this. Why do you mix? You think the person going to buy this is happy with it? And it will come back to your own home, to your own children, to your own brothers, to your own sisters. Is this really fair? Let's keep asking ourselves every single moment. The foods we process. Sometimes we go to sell, actually of late, you people are all aware of all those things that have been putting in our meat, in our fish, in our vegetables. Because we don't want the food to get spoiled. We want to keep them a little longer. And in the process, we put chemicals that are not supposed to enter in the food system. If you know well that chloroform or whatever it is not good for a human body, meant for maybe embalmment of the body, and you carry and you bring and put in the meat that somebody is supposed to go and eat, what goes wrong in your head? Do we stop to ask ourselves? What went wrong where? Is a question we need to ask and find an answer. So when we look at our institutions, we note that a number of issues has been put in place. The government has tried to put in place a number of policies, legal instruments. We have the UNPS. We have the ministries of agriculture, trade, health, local government, finance, who gives us the money. What have we all done? A number of trainings have taken place. Campaigns probably have gone on to some extent. Laboratories for checking our foods. Do we use them? Do we check? If we check them, then what do we find in those foods? I want to share with you, it's not even a month ago, we exported milk to one of the countries. From here we checked the milk was good, and we exported the milk. When it got there, they checked and the milk was terribly bad. So they had to bring it back at our expense. So what went wrong where? Why do we have to do that? Why? Every other single day we are busy getting notifications for our vegetables which are not okay. Why? We are the ones earning the money. We are exporters. You who is carrying the food from wherever you are carrying it, why don't you look through that and you make sure the food you are going to give somebody is good enough for consumption? Why do we have to make sure it's dirty? Do we know where the food comes from? So all these institutions that are responsible, actually I should add Parliament here, so that we look at the policies and the legal instruments that we need to work on. I think the policy we have on food safety must be older than me. Let's move on. We are saying food safety is not something we can negotiate about. It must be a given, and must be a given to everybody, not only to some. Many times we focus on the food we are exporting to ensure that that one is really, really clean. And we forget about the ones we eat on day-to-day basis. So who is supposed to take care of the ones we eat here at home, when our focus is majorly on the exports and the others? So this is something we cannot negotiate. No, we can't. It must be a given. We cannot bombard Ministry of Health with our sicknesses. Please, you better get tired of them and start doing something differently. When Father calls for advocacy, I think everybody should run and rally behind him, because all of us need to do something really, really, really differently. The 16% of post-harvest losses, they say they're incurred at the farm level due to poor post-harvest handling. Actually, it's not even 16%, it was about 40%. And this leads to food insecurity. Then we are looking at 1.3 million Ugandans in the diaspora with the foodborne diseases every single year. Do we know 1.5 million, 1.3 million? Million. When the moment you hear the word million, that is already a lot, too many. If only 2 people here get sick today, everybody will make an alarm. But here we are looking at millions of people. And then the Food Standards Agency of the US tells us that about 12% of the people who suffer they are suspected of food poisoning. Every single year they are food poisoning, every single year, 12%. And that is very heavy. It is really sad. Let's look at the next one. It's very, very sad and pathetic. And then our laws. I told you to be older than me. And indeed, do you know 1964? In this room, there are very few people of 1964. Why do we keep a law before we are born? For what? To do what? Why haven't we revised this? 1964. That is not allowed. Much as he said it is obsolete, it's not even supposed to appear here anymore. That is what we are implementing. Parliament, you better go and make noise. You are in charge of the food system and whatever. And when you get to Parliament, tell the persons responsible, the ministry responsible. If agriculture is responsible, tell them so. We cannot afford to do this. And why do they make you sit to look at systems which are obsolete? Before you leave Parliament in the next 3 years to come, make sure a new act will have been put in place. That would be an achievement on your side. And there we challenge you. And they're telling us that it doesn't take care of the modern food production techniques. Of course it is 64, it is a long time ago. So we need a new review of the food safety law. We also know that Uganda has a multi-sectoral national food safety control system, but here we also know the fragmentation everywhere. When you are looking at food safety, food system, they will tell you everybody is responsible. And anything that is everybody's thing is nobody's thing. That is one problem we have. As long as it is for everybody, it belongs to no one. Health is responsible. Agriculture, you are responsible. Then they will turn and say, MTIC, you are responsible. And they will say, local government, you are responsible. So who is responsible? Who is the leader? I've always not liked everybody's thing. It has to be somebody. One person you can point a finger at. Somebody you can hold the neck and say, you have not done this. If we have that, we are better off. And we run to National Drug Authority. National Drug Authority is supposed to give us the drugs. Do we have a food authority? No, probably we need that. Maybe we need the National Food Authority to handle our food system. Please. So we also know many MDAs are responsible for the food safety management, and it indeed gives us very, very weak, you know. It gives us a very weak moving system. I think I talked about this earlier. Move on. So with everybody being responsible for everything that we have to do, we need to actually put in place. Because here we are now looking at how we can improve our food system. We need to start with that particular law. We need to revise it immediately. Should be an immediate action to review the law. We need to foster the multi-sectoral collaboration. Effective and transparent joint actions between public health, animal health, agriculture, and other sectors. We need to bring everybody on board to play together in one field. We need to come together. We must hold hands on this. We need to design very strong policies and practice good governance to help us move forward. We need to support the policy measures and the legal framework to strengthen the national food safety system and to ensure that it complies with the food safety standards of this country. And then we also need to develop, implement, and evaluate these national food control systems that can help us to promote the compliance of food safety standards all through the value chain. And to provide the communal-owned facilities that can help to enhance the good post-harvest practices. We have been pointing fingers at the government part. But we have those private sectors who are the business operators who play a very crucial role in the food system. They handle most of the processing, a lot of distribution. And most of these retail works, they're done by private sector. It is not the government. And actually, it is even worse in the private sector. It is worse in the private sector. Because every day somebody manufactures something, either in the head or I don't know from where, that is where you find people putting chemicals in our meat, in our fish, in our vegetables, in the food we are eating, even in the drinks that we take. Please, let us wake up. Let us wake up. Earlier on they told us that if it is not safe food, then it is what? It is not food, because it is poison. So let us promote the food safety culture wherever we are. At educational institutions, Makerere University is here, and probably other institutions are present. You too have a role, a very big one. Let us talk to our young people about safe food. From primary, secondary, and other tertiary institutions. We need to build that culture. It has to be instilled into a person. And that is how all of us come on board and become very responsible for everything that is taking place that's not right. And then towards the consumers. Is there anybody in this country that does not eat food? There's no one. So you can see how you also come on board. If you think you are not a farmer, say, for me, I'm not a farmer. Then they'll say they are the traders. For me, I'm not a trader. Then you say the processor. Me, I'm not a processor. And all through then it comes to you finally that the consumers, and you are the worst hit. Because all those guys would work and it ends up with you. That means the consumers have to take a very hard hand and a very hard stand on all this. Because all those guys along the value chain, they are targeting you. And imagine the effect of all those actions ending up onto the consumers. So as a consumer, let us now take a very hard stand and fight against this thing, which they give us to destroy our health. They give us instructions of keeping clean, separating raw foods from the cooked, and cooking thoroughly. These are things nobody should be talking about here. It should be a given, we should automatically know. Hygiene was taught at school long time, even at home as you are growing up. So as parents too, you are responsible, because we have to bring our children in that way that helps them to know what clean is clean. And we shouldn't be making assumptions every time. We need to instill hygiene, clean, safeness in our children and in ourselves. Next. We have hit on the farmers already. And our farmers, actually I want to add a little bit here. Our farmers feed our chicken with the ARVs, with other chemicals, because they want the birds to grow faster and they get money quickly. They want the pigs to grow quickly and they earn the money that they deserve. They want the, why quickly, and you kill everybody. Who is going to eat the next one then if everyone die? If people die, who will eat the next food you are trying to plant? Even you will die because you are also eating the same food. All the rotten maize, nobody wants to throw it anywhere. The rotten peanuts, we said, oh, this one, let's throw it to the chicken. The chicken eats and keeps it. As you slaughter the chicken to eat, it enters your system and it affects you more than that chicken. The cows you are eating, it will get to you. So the actions we take, the actions, those things we do unknowingly, they bounce there and come back to you. So remember every time you are doing anything, that what I'm doing, what will be the repercussion back on me? If we don't think of it, it will hit us more than twice. Let's look at those foods, the next one. The food vendors. We have talked about them. We have food vending everywhere. Chapati on the street, the food cooked on the street, and all of them are wrapped on kaveras. Let's move to the next picture, to the next slide. Are you sure? I think you left it up. Next. Next. Oh, I must have lost it, sorry. So we have foods that are wrapped. This they call it white pill. Do we know that white pill? They have changed white pill into a packaging pill. That is now what we use for packing our foods. In all that we do, we push them in those things. You come in to buy, in the morning you go and buy chips in the plastic kavera, they give you. Black kavera, they give you. And we are very happy, we just carry them happily walking with it. Do we know what we are carrying? Do we know what we are carrying? And why we are carrying all those? Let us look at the market, the pictures in the market. That one. You see how we are seated very comfortably in the market? And even when we go to buy, we walk there. We walk like that. You step around like that, going to buy. See that? Look at that. You can sit on the food. Actually, I didn't even put a picture here. When they're carrying the vegetables on the truck, you see how those men sit there with all their buttocks on our vegetables. Then you say, no, me, I'm a vegetarian. What are you eating in that vegetable? What are you eating? When we start looking at all these things carefully, even the water they're washing these things with, go to Kalendwe here, it's not even far. The water they used to wash this thing from the sewage, and yet this is supposed to go to a human stomach. It is very sad. It is very pathetic. And that is why you and me, we are responsible. Let's move on to the next one. We are all food consumers, and we all want our foods to be safe. Not true? Is that true or false? We therefore need to create a lasting solution to food safety problems. And I told you earlier, we need to hold our hands and walk together. We need to work together. So if we can together collectively cooperate to provide food safety practices in our day-to-day lives, we can then take care of the food safety issues, the foodborne illnesses, and we can promote productivity. Each person has a role to play, you and me. Whether you grow, you process, you transport, you store, you sell, you buy, you prepare, or serve the food, every one of us is responsible. Let's move to the next one. Policy and implementation and enforcement. By the way, when we look at that and we ask ourselves, is there any legal instrument that can guide us on food safety? We say yes. So if it is there, why are we not following? We have a beautiful saying that Ugandans are very good at making policies and laws, but we have never been commended for implementing. We have never been commended, not even once, in implementation. So that's where our biggest challenge is. So what do we need to do? Strict penalties for defaulters of the laws. As per now, these ones of 1964, it doesn't give you any penalty that is worthwhile. Otherwise, they'll do it deliberately. I would rather be arrested and I'll pay that money. I think it is just 200 shillings or something like that. And then there is need to create awareness and inspire actions that can help us to prevent, detect, manage foodborne risk that contributes to food security, to human health, to economic prosperity, agriculture, market access, tourism, and sustainable development. Attitude and mindset change is what we need, each and every single one of us. You cannot say, me, I'm a changed person, change to eat the same thing. No way. All of us plus all the others, we need change of the mindset. Then instilling the culture of reading so that we find out what is happening where and we see how to copy. And then involvement of the young people, the youth, in food safety issues, right from schools and the others. And I want to give us a take-home message, that when food is not safe, our children cannot go to school. They are not healthy. Adults cannot work because your health is not good. Human development cannot therefore take place because we're not good, we are all not healthy. Therefore, safe food is critical in promoting health and even ending hunger. Let us therefore remember that there can never be food security without food safety. And it is therefore not safe. Food is therefore not safe if it is, I missed out on this. So if food is not safe, then it is not food. Thank you very much.